An entrepreneur is a source of capital. So labor and capital interact. What the laborer gets is called wages, which you call salaries. What the entrepreneur gets is called profit. So you, as a provider of labor, you only get a higher productivity when there are more machines involved in your work. When you can only till your land with hands, your productivity per person is so low that you are a slave. So we talk about poverty, increasing productivity per person. The second thing, access to education. I talked about it before. It is our obligation to make sure that our societies are accessing education, including institutions, advocating in our various governments, that you are doing a lot of injustice to the people where you live, when there are still school-going children who are not going to school. I mean, it is our obligation, all of us, whether it's advocacy, whether it's actually doing it, we must do it. Of course, I talked about healthcare. I'll not buttress that point because I want to go to the last thing. Actual physical development, including the citation I gave you about here in Kenya, the schools we attended. It doesn't have to be permanent. Start a structure. Let people have somewhere they are calling a school. They'll talk about better infrastructure later as they proceed. Don't wait for you to get a story building. Even us, my grandfathers, my fathers never went to a stone walled building, but it was a school. So let's start from where we are. And of course, it's our work to make sure that we keep on bridging the inequality gap as the people in this hall. And it all boils down to leadership. Now, there are a few things I want to highlight here because I am not speaking for too long. Now, in our various areas, I've moved from the macro. Let me come to the micro in what we do specifically. One of the things that changed my mind are some seminars that used to be organized for us as youth by the church. So the church there is a revival fellowship called East African Revival Fellowship. So my mother belongs to East African Revival Fellowship. So they used to organize seminars for young people. Some have stuck in my mind ever since. Gentlemen would come, I am a doctor. So, I'm from a village, very humble place. So you are here interacting with a doctor. Person telling you they went to university, they studied medicine. Then another one comes, teaching you about leadership. My transformation as a human being started there. Seeing people who are telling me things which ordinarily are not present in my village. So, all of us, let's learn. The institutions we run, they operate there for spiritual nourishment, but they shape the destinies of the communities you lead. The people believe the church has the solution for the legal problems they have, the financial problems they have, the education problems they have. I came here to tell you, you will not run away from that responsibility. I came to remind you, you shoulder it, God will provide. Those small things you do, just accelerate them. As the beacon of knowledge in the locality, in your country, it is your work to make sure that information is flowing. Any place where information is not flowing, those people are in darkness. When is the last time as a church, for your young men and ladies who come to your church, did you ever organize a career talk? Just for people to know there's a difference between a veterinary doctor and a medical doctor. Just for people to know, in this, there's something called computer science, And there is another one called electrical and electronics. You have traveled through aircrafts to come to Kenya. But there are so many people who just need that distinction. To know, just for information to flow, for this person to open up their mind. Open up their mind and know the world is bigger than my village. The person who should bring the world to their village is the people in this hall. Some of these things, I'm sure you know them. I'm reminding you because I know they're far-reaching. When is the last time you call people, not even with any machine or equipment, just for that person to talk to your congregation about healthcare? Just that. About you need to exercise, about intake of sugar and these other things, what they do to you. Economically, as I told you, a human being is a supplier of labor. The longer you supply labor, the more people you have living healthy lives, the more agents of the economy you have. Healthcare services, labor. The work of education is to add value to a human being. The work of healthcare is to service that labor. So, primarily the people you deal with, two things are very critical to them: education and healthcare. What do you do as a church in those two arenas? You may not have much to give, but there's a person who only needs that information. Even in I don't remember where we went for a seminar, people talked and gave us books. How to be a good leader, how to do this. It is that word that was imparted to me that changed me, not the gift I received from those people. So, lastly, if there is one thing I talked with passion with, is about leadership. I go around my our constituency, and I have seen a correlation between schools that perform so well and the leadership of those schools. Leadership of a church and how the church turns out to be. Then it means leadership is very critical. What are you doing in your own way to make sure there are better burgeoning leaders from the communities you lead up to the country? If the community I was in, that church never organized that seminar, for me to go learn there is a bigger thing than my village, and to interact with the people who I would ordinarily not have interacted with at that level. If that never happened, would I be an asset to my community now? That's the reflection I want us to have. So those things, then the basis you are laying today, if you don't lay it, you'd rather look at it this way. You'd rather you grow 3 people. 3. Forget about a 10,000 congregation to say I have a big congregation. What if you touch 3 people? One becomes the best president for your country. The other one becomes a far-reaching education minister. The other one becomes the treasury CS or a cabinet minister in charge of money in your country. And you retire as a pastor. The decisions those people will make could be far-reaching than a congregation as big as you do want to count it. If you are here as a teacher shapes a human being. Maybe 10,000 people pass through the hands of that teacher. 10,000, they retire. Among the 10,000 becomes Deng Xiaoping or becomes General Park of South Korea. They change the fortunes of the entire country. Then it would have been better for this teacher not to be tied with heading 10,000 people and concentrate with this one who will change the society forever. And because you are not sure who is this one, then you have to do it to all. Only that you have to do it in such a manner that you are creating many general parks. You are creating many Mwai Kibaki is one of the presidents we celebrate in this country. Because then what would it be? And we Africans, let's talk it direct. You are a teacher. Who taught the president in one of the wealthiest countries here in Africa? The person became president of that wealthiest country, but he read the most poor people in the world. As a teacher, what did you do to Africa? You messed our continent. So what am I trying to say here? We have an obligation here in this hall as our responsibility to grow the next cadre of African leaders from our community up. There's no African country president who jumps from Europe and comes here to lead us. They come from our community, become prefect in a school. Then after that, they go and start a business. In that business, they become wealthy through corruption. Then they get the money, and they come and bribe all the population. They become African leaders, and they go to AU. And then our countries depreciate and decay. The people to break that are in this hall today. And leadership, always remember, when you look at it up, it's a reflection of down. So we start from down here. That young man leading youth in our church, first of all, they are empowered by you to become leaders with integrity, leaders who love their countries, leaders who love our continent, leaders who are doing the right thing.